This is the Soft Serve Sultan, and we are here for another night. We're a little earlier this time. Hopefully, we can start our streams a little earlier for a little while. Um, there's been some changes going on due to the, you know, that plague that's going around. So I've been able to get a little bit earlier, thus we can start our streams a little bit earlier. Possibly get some more content for you here. Anyway, let's see where we last left off. I believe we had found this new island we had been pointed to many a time. It's overrun by Naga, with these gigantic swords, and petrify these people. So, yeah, we most definitely came in on a terrible note. These people are not doing well, but hopefully we can save some of these people, and we can make the situations a little bit better. But yeah, that's not what I expected when I came here. Most of the towns so far we've been to were towns full of people, and not towns full of ashen gargoyles. So, you also did get a chance to level up last session, so that's cool. That's new abilities, and we're kind of getting up there in levels now. So let's see what's down here. The stairs descend to a flooded hallway. The water is clear. The passage seems to continue for quite a ways. Let's win this passage. As the passage begins to grow dim and the water cloudy, you reach the intersection where the walls are spider-webbed with cracks. The hall continues to the left and to the right. The way to the left is dark. There's a faint glow to your right, but still, darker shape obstruct the passage. Let's orientate ourselves. Okay. Let's go left. The hallway curves around until you reach a door. It's swollen with water and stuck in place. Give a cursory tug, but it'll take more effort. Pull this door open. With my straw! You plant your feet on the other side of the doorway and pull the handle. After several sharp yanks, it flies open, revealing stairs to the surface. You swim up. I'm a wizard, so I'm buff. These buff wizards out here. It takes muscle power to let off these spells. It does. You get extra damage for your might. So, I have a pretty strong wizard. Actually, strength or might. It's not strength, it's might. That's why it affects magic and healing as well. So might is a good stat for everybody. Well, all the stats are good stats for everybody. That's kind of the point here. Right? Press.
Right.
Another soul. Wow, this one has a face. That's new. You feel the presence of a soul, twisting and sinuous. It notices you, too, and draws near. Its restless essence tingles against your own. It is searching, hunting. You recognize the soul of a Naga.
What is this? Come closer. You glow so brightly. Just like
The soul recoils from a memory of violence, like a child snatching her hand from a hot stove. What were you searching for?
away. The striped fiends profane the island, endlessly burrowing, building. They bury the Adra under stone. Sugan says we must find a way in. Sugan says I must find a way in.
There's warmth in his thought, pride. Who's Sugan?
Speaker for the gods. Grandfather to many. He leads us here. And here I must find a way in. The fiends gather at the walls, searching too. Not for me, but they see me still.
You feel a prickle of sympathetic pain, as if pierced by the volley of bullets. You died.
No, not dead. Still searching.
A desperate ripple thrums through the Naga soul.
Stay a little longer. Your glow is a comfort here.
What are you looking for
A
now?
way, I said. A glowing, shining way.
As she speaks, you feel yourself build into her memory, into the dark abyss of the in-between. Remember it from your own belief sojourn here. Yet from the darkness, you and Yas see a bright rift, a pillar with roots that seem to stretch into the heart of the world. You recognize this as an altar pillar.
The way glows like an anglerfish lure, but it feels safe.
It does. You are drawn to it.
I will follow the way, I think. But then I see another glowing thing. This one does not feel safe.
Another glowing figure appears, one shaped like an enormous walker. 3 stars burn above his brow. You feel Yadra's fears at this walker thing, even as you recognize it as Athelis. You watch as the glowing figure approaches the pillar. It reaches out, and a violent current rips through the darkness. You hear a chorus of screams, but they sound distant and distorted, as if coming from underwater. Light and energy flow into the strange being from the pillar, and from 100 points gather around it. At last, the pillar is dark. The glowing walker recedes. Brighter than before, everything is dark.
Now, there is no way and no light. I am afraid.
Come with me.
It is too dark. I will lose my way, or be swallowed by the terrible walker.
I will store the altar period, then you can continue on your way.
The way? I am searching for a way. Show me.
She melts into the ether and becomes quite a presence beside you. Doesn't seem to be much of any way to get through there. There's the kitchen. Oh, I still want to go the other direction too. Turn right back around.
Sure.
Into passage. Let's go right. Goes down. You pull yourself past the corner into the labyrinth of carnage. Debris from half-collapsed walls and shattered barricades clog the tunnel. Corpses weighed down by armor and bloated with decay bob and hover in open spaces. You cook off the rubble, propel yourself forward, even so the way forward is more taxing than you initially thought. Swim on. You press on. Mia appears to be struggling, but by the time you notice, it's too late to turn back. The exit is still a gray blur when you see the panic in Mia's eyes. You grab Mia's trembling arms and pull your companion towards the light. You reach the wood-paneled wall and with a ruined green banner you see next to your exit to your right. You push towards it. Once out of the water, Mia doubles over, vomits a mouthful of seawater, trembling with exhaustion. Oh, that was rough. When I have these tests, she seems to get the worst of it. Which is strange, because she seems, at least to me, to be one of the more capable of the party members. Actually, I'm actually going to rest here, because we've actually been at it for a while. I like to have them all eat fire kelp. Give them all +1 might. You can't have enough might, I say. Kind of vegetables. We got fast speed. Come on now. Ale. That's what I should select. So now the kitchen's just the kitchen. Let's go out here. Restore our dailies. Once per day. She was already exhausted. Already had some wounds. No real reason not to take a rest. It had been a while. Yeah, this is a nice long sombering music for this area. So I think we're slowly catching up to that big old rock pillar man.
Enemies ahead.
What did you find, Ishi?
And ooh, some grenades. Not bad. Interesting. What's this crack? Loose makes you see Mars, the southern wall of the gatehouse. Some of the protruding breaks looks prominent enough to climb. As the stonework feels slick with sea spray and slime moss, you estimate the difficult climb and a dangerous fall. Yep, I fall. Halfway up, you hear a gasp below. Looking down, you see Mia holding feebly as you watch her hand slip. Mia's always the one taking these. Every single injury is always Mia. It's super weird.
Will do.
Super weird to me that she's consistently, without a doubt, one that takes the injury. Why that is. It can't be random that she always gets it.
I know Finn.
Feeling.
That. Just
Damn it. Got away.
zero.
Ahoy.
Get you raised up.
Aye, Captain. I'll be more than half handy.
What can I do you for?
What's that?
Can I have you summon? Yeah, just put those buffs on. Stun him too.
Ahoy. Consider it rock like flogging a figurehead. Futile.
Alright. And then chopped. Oh! Game over. Body parts.
What can I do you for? Captain.
And that's done.
I've got it.
Selling workshop records.
Easily. Don't mention it.
I picked it up. Hey. An older man hunches over a work table, scribbling furiously by the light of a flickering lantern. His hair is is an oily, matted mess, and his cheeks are streaked with black. He looks up as you enter, shielding his eyes from the torchlight behind you.
Finally, some peace and quiet. Just keep that bird away from my work.
Stand down, Ishii. The man is doing important work.
Slave sphincter, those snakes were noisy. I don't suppose you brought any extra parchment with you?
He brushes a lock of greasy hair behind his ear. As he does, the ink-stained fingers leave another mark on his cheek. What are you doing?
I'm writing it all down. My research, my work, something to survive before the next walk-in Colossus, the next Naga warband.
He blinks, eyes wide and
Do you
distant.
need something? If not, I should focus. So much to do.
What happened here?
What didn't? A Colossus made of Adra marched through the fort, grew bright like luminous, and scores of soldiers fell dead. Incredible.
Chico stops moving. His gaze grows distant.
If Aethys got to them first, then you can fit their remains in a pouch of white leaf.
Then the Naga killed everyone else. Except Latharn, I suppose. Yes, he must have left.
Fine.
Dawnstar fellow. Arrived yesterday, last week, complained of strange dreams. Smart of him to leave so soon.
He's gotta be acting on his dreams, trying to help our god.
I see.
Do you need something? If not, I should focus. So much to do.
You want to fight shows with
Only
Robert?
one. Just a prototype. In there.
Captain, I don't ask for much. I need to see this thing go off.
Seraph's eyes close as he nods along. Sonny's gleaming. Excuse me. both of them are like, I need to fire the gun.
It is most impressive.
He brightens, nodding enthusiastically, and Mia.
You're welcome to it. I only ask that you compile notes on the blast radius, detonation temperature, smoke formation, debris trajectory.
He continues muttering quietly to himself, taking the items off with a sharp jab of his skull. I get to the lighthouse.
How indeed. Naga everywhere. Suppose your best chance will be up along the walls, west and south. But how to get there? Better perhaps to keep going south, around the edge of the fort, through Fleet Master Ko's office. More cover from the Naga.
Farewell. Interesting. I didn't really expect to see many survivors. I guess the Nagas are either good, good with a lockpick or breaking down doors, even between the two of them. I must see it go off. I must see the big thing go boom. Go boom boom. Must be a way of turning it though. I've just missed.
Right. Enemies ahead.
Oh, so that's where they are. Okay. Now you get to be the star of the show this time. Yeah, we're gonna ring your bell.
Still got it. What can I do you for?
Okay.
Mo Ixie on.
At your service.
Someone of this blight.
Luthen.
What for, Captain?
I didn't see that other archer. And there's a warrior. Okay. Here we can't interrupt the wizard. Or the shaman. How did that work?
What say?
Huh?
And, might as well knock this guy out. Or stun him. He do not like that guy. I know what a moon well is. Does it not know what to do when it's knocked down? Because, combat's still going. Okay.
Happy to oblige.
What's going on here? Okay.
At your service.
Huh?
Yeah.
What's going on? Okay. Is this thing really frozen? Legit? For real? For real, for real? Game doesn't know what to do? Can't handle the thing being mind controlled? For real, for real? Okay. Wow, bro. I have to reload a save because the damn game didn't know what to do. That's disappointing. That's disappointing that just mind controlling a mage made the whole game unable to decide what to do. That's crazy. That's crazy. Never seen anything like that. I've had times where they just didn't do anything when I mind controlled them, which was always disappointing. But like mind controlling enemies, there's so many classes and so many spells in this game that does that. Does that specifically. That the fact that it broke down like that is. Did it not know how to cast a spell? You got knocked down? Like what? It looks like that was us. That was us. Looks like that was going to be a buff and didn't know who to hit. Like, that's craziness. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Thank God for autosave, right? Now I'm kind of tempted to see what happens if I try it again. I'm kind of tempted. Just, you know, just as a thought process, what happens here.
Got someone in my sights.
Feel it.
So, I'm gonna do this fight again, very similarly.
Damn it, got away.
Captain.
Okay. So we're gonna try mind controlling this chick again.
What can I do you for?
Speak your mind.
Do the summon again. So we spent all of our first turns setting up buffs and summoning stuff. Okay. Alright, so we got a cone, we got a buff. So I think I can get both of these guys in the cone and leave our new friend out of it. We need to move back just a bit. Just a bit. Let's see. What we got here? Okay. That looks good. So we're gonna try that. Spray of ice. I didn't even do enough damage before it's done. And
Yours to command, Captain.
come on. I like well, that buff is instantaneous. Alright. And then we're gonna have him come up and just kind of like wreck shop. So we're gonna get this buff on, and then hit this guy. And he's done two of them. That's great. And the more time they spend on trying to attack that guy, the better, actually. At least for me. Hit him with this barbaric blow.
You enough attack, Cap.
I'm listening.
Okay.
Afraid not,
Okay.
Captain.
Oh, I did not mean to do that. I wanted her to attack.
For the wrong Anui.
What was that? Why would she run up there like that? Sometimes they can be annoying. Okay. Zodi, time for you to reap this. Good stuff. Just having a normal attack was even better. And missed. Brr, 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 brr. This bird knocking everybody down.
Ahoy.
Bird's big bully. Okay.
See you. Zoom.
Okay. Alright. Get in with this piercing damage. Boom. Boom.
Speak freely. For the homeland. Right between the eyes.
And exploded the thing. Those little totems are usually really hard to get rid of. They usually last even after combat. So. Alright. That one's down. Just one more left for you to reap. And it's fight over. Alright, so I think it's on this side. Yeah, it's on this side. I'll take the passport. That's a rough cookie fight into the gears. It's messy, smelly work, but once the gears and your arms are liberally greased, you're able to turn the bombard. Aim at the cluster of Naga. Match at the bombard. Looks like a reasonable ammo. Probably. Load it. Fire it. Damn it!
in his
Brave,
head.
a
I miss
feline,
him.
feel him.
What requires you to move like that? Just attack it. Not even wearing a fucking sword. My God. Why is it so hard to attack items in this game? Shouldn't be fucking rocket science. Use points on something completely pointless. What you mean you can't see them? Right over the railing. Whatever. You have no problem seeing us. The fuck? The fuck, bro?
Happy to
If we were on
oblige.
higher ground, we'd have an advantage. No. Not how this shit works.
Yours to command, Captain.
Is she gonna tell me you can't summon this thing over the railing?
I am the Alpha Predator.
Really? But you can do it. Everything about this is annoying the hell out of me.
What for, Cap? Consider it right fucked.
Maybe now I can use the fucking ability. Nope. What's the point of having high ground if it offers you absolutely no advantage?
Captain.
Alright. Now this is when I wish I'd been casting Fireball.
Looks like I'm here to
John
stay.
Cena? I'm good, man. I'm doing alright. Out here killing lizard people. How about you?
What can I do you for?
Yeah, you trying to stay out here, stay healthy? He doesn't he? Yeah, I can see that.
Speak your mind. Lieutenant! These distractions!
Ah. Ooh.
Yours to command, Captain.
I'm a girl pretty bad. That's actually.
Ixiana!
No, you messing up these paths, bro. All those half circles, man. Those half circles are hard on a pad. But it's sometimes pretty hard not to, though.
Oh, that's the stuff. What can I do you for?
You can reach this guy.
Love you, be on sync.
Aye.
Got a brand new spawn. You still said it'd be picks a spawn, bro. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Not into it too much. I have you drink some potion because you was down. Bunch of health points. I mean, I could, it's just not gonna do anything. Explosions.
Captain?
Oh, you're the next marked target.
between the eyes.
Happy to oblige.
There was a huge explosion earlier. You kind of missed it. We fired off a cannon. Though it didn't hit as hard as we would want, it still hit. What you like to say, the earth-shattering kaboom?
Just like
You have my attention.
Okay. So I'm gonna get these guys with a fear effect. Yeah. Come on. Select it. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
come now, step into the light.
Ahoy.
Is your least favorite D&D class? Why is that, sir?
I've been cleaving it to the brisket. Oh, that were a beaut.
You don't like Fighter, Mr. Druid? Or Woodsman? Woodsman doesn't do anything for you? Ah. See,
You were saying?
I like Ranger only in the simple fact that he gets all the stuff that I want Monk to have.
I got this, Captain.
So, what ends up happening is, since he gets all the stuff I want Monk to have, he ends up being a character I like because he just has those stuff.
How many of you are there?
That's just all those marks. I mean, it can. I would say Fighter. So this is actually a rant I was gonna go on for the cast, or do a video about. I had spoken to Mr. Giles about it,
You could use something to
but
put a little pep
I
in
might
my
as well
step.
tell you. So I think one of the biggest problems with Monk in the game has to do with the fact that Ranger exists. And what I mean by that is all the stuff
Yes, Captain.
that you would want to do with your Ranger, or all the stuff that's, you know, would be cool for a Monk to do, to be the dex-based fighter, to have all the quick moves, to be the resilient, reliant guy, like the smooth dex-based fighter kind of stuff. I do a bunch of hits, they may not be, you all end up with a bunch of damage at the end and stuff like that. That's all stuff that, they kind of give, Ranger. Or even if you don't do it directly, they have stuff like, the dueling stuff and the take down any enemies. They give basically any type of thing you would have given the Monk as a defining feature for his class. They end up giving the Ranger usually for free, or the Monk usually has to do a poor version of it and use a resource like Key to do something very similar. So like all those cool ideas you could have for the character is already kind of taken. Like there's no real reason to do many of the things with Monk, unless you want to just punch a guy.
Still got it.
And even then, Monks isn't even that exclusive at that. But if you're, I'm talking about not necessarily the flavor, but the mechanics of the thing. Yeah, all of that plus magic. And Key is supposed to be kind of like magic, but it ends up just being bad magic.
Show me where to bite.
90% of the time.
What can I do you for?
You just end up not doing very much of anything with the class. Which is, you know, just sad. Because it has a lot of potential. And yeah, it most definitely gets magic. I don't forget it has magic.
Yeah.
It's actually one of the things that changes a lot if you play Pathfinder 2nd edition, is Rangers don't have magic. And that ends up being a big deal
Full, Captain.
for that class. And the funny thing is,
Yeah.
like Monk is better in Pathfinder than he is in
I'll light
most
the
of those
darkness.
editions. But he still kind of suffers from the same, you know, problems that he does in a lot of editions. 5th ed just kind of exacerbates that, even to the, you know, even more so than usual.
You were saying? For the homeland.
Like, in 5th ed, you have to actually use a resource to do flurry of blows. That's kind of ridiculous. Whereas Ranger, when he gets them, and most of the time, the stuff that, you know, Ranger ends up doing doesn't require any resources. And you would think a guy who spent all of his time, you know, in a monastery, you know, doing crane stances under waterfalls, and left, you know, basically everything else in life alone to be good at Kung Fu, wouldn't have most of his stuff on a cooldown. Like, I could understand the more supernatural things, you know, requiring ki, but at that point I want those things to be actually supernatural. Like, I want them to be quite out of the ordinary. I just don't feel that way. Just don't feel like I get that type of thing from Monk. And even when they have the really cool things, they usually just make it be a daily, you know, once per day type deal. And it's just execution on that, bro. Execution has always been really bad on this. But that's my thoughts. I mean, you could do that, and they kind of did that with one of them. But there's so many different stuff you can do. Like, it's so funny because Monk is so clearly not a part of the medieval fantasy part. Like, they're clearly like kung fu masters from the East that don't fit. Yet, it seems like the people who, you know, play this game don't watch, you know, these kung fu movies and don't pay attention. You know, I feel like that what they end up, they're like, okay, But we have the strength-based fighter stuff. I'm gonna give that to barbarian. The dex-based stuff we'll give to ranger. And then what's left? Oh, the balance stuff. The kind of you can take it anywhere stuff. We'll give that kind of stuff to fighter. Well, what do we have left? Well, I guess we got this monk. What does he do? I don't know, let's put some key points. People like flurry blows, right? Yeah? You like flurry blows? Okay, let's put flurry blows there then. What? Well, we got this key. We don't know what else to use it for.
Sure.
Let's make that stuff take take key points. Yeah. Well, that was. See, you're gonna get me onto my whole 5e rant, and I wasn't planning on going all deep into the 5e rant about how a lot of these classes feel that way, but I think, like I've expressed this to you, 5e's greatest strength is its simplicity, but it's also its greatest weakness, is its simplicity. Because when things are very simple, and things are so, simple and generic, it's really easy for the quality of one thing just to overshine the quality of another. So when everything's the numbers are so small, and so, and everything's so simple and easy to do, you lose some of your ability to, make relevant decisions. And I skipped my turn. I don't even know why. I mean, I would say the best thing a 5e character can do is get some magic. And that's why damn near every single 5e character gets magic. Like, it's clearly the way they made these classes continue to be relevant. You make these classes have some depth to them. Because if they didn't have spells, bro, if half of these classes didn't get spells, they'd have no real choices to make. You could get some non-magic builds with fighter that are just fine, but I understand why you say that. Because magic sure does help a lot. Sure does help a lot. It's not a you have to have, but it sure does help. It sure does not hurt. The magic archer is the best kind of archer to me. The only other thing that comes close is another magic archer, which is, which is the a build I have, for actually a warlock. But that's getting into that. That's getting into that, and that's not necessary. Why is it so I can't move around here? What's going on?
Ain't not my thing, savvy?
Why isn't my character able to move?
You were saying?
Eldritch Blast is actually, unless you make your build around it, Eldritch Blast is actually not very good. Like, if you're willing to make your whole build around it, then it's okay. But it's not the best thing they could be doing.
Still got it.
Captain.
And that usually involves some, I don't actually. I take that back. I say it's not very good, but that's not 100%. That's kind of disingenuous in the fact that I don't think it's actually bad as much as it's not the best thing you could be doing. Why is... No idea what... Or my stuff is going like that.
Ahoy.
Okay. Why is it going this direction? The fuck is going on?
You have my attention.
Eh? Like, besides the fact that it's force damage, it's not really much to write home about. I mean, I enjoy voice damage as much as the next man, but it does, like, on average it does less than having the same character. If you're gonna have, you know, let's say you start with 216s, you know, you'd be better off just using a crossbow or or a longbow to get more damage out of a spear, like a javelin being thrown, and you could have just as much accuracy. I mean, you could put it on Bard, but I personally think this is it's a just an okay choice, even on that.
Got it.
Just happy to oblige.
I'm listening. Ashiza, strike! Afraid not, Captain.
Why is that keep making stuff going? Phantom, why are you attacking an enemy that's not even there?
Captain.
Full cap.
Because for some reason, just making all my guys run the other direction, that's super weird to me. I don't understand. My characters are... It's because this stairs was here, and it had that little icon to interact, and didn't know what to do because I was like, "Ooh, are you gonna go down the stairs?" I can't go down the stairs. I'm in the middle of a fight. You sure? Yes, I understand. Like, it's a cool little thing to have, but truth be told, Eldritch Blast is just kind of whatever. It's okay. It looks really, really... looks really, really,
On it.
more impressive when you first get it. When you first into it. Then when you can start comparing it to the other things, it's alright. I mean, if I would, like, say, if I was giving it to Bard, gets a better thing to do. You could put on Rogue and try to get ranged sneak attack, but and then at that point, like I said, you can just pick up like a short bow and get more damage. Flame Bolt is not what you have to convince people that it's not bad. Most people think Flame Bolt is pretty decent. It's the standard choice. But the thing you have to convince people isn't as bad as Acid Spray. Most people will not wouldn't pick that if their life depended on it. So Flame Bolt is not a hard sell for at least most of the people I've talked to. Oh, you just gonna jump out in the jump out on people. Just think you're gonna just sneak attack people. Ain't scared. Like Bernie Mac once said, I ain't scared of you.
Captain?
I'm scared of you motherfuckers. Yeah, Acid Spray.
What can I do you for?
It is 10 foot. So it's, you know, it's not, you know, I would say it's not maybe as good as, so this, I would say it's not, maybe not as good as Flame Bolt most of the time, but if you really want that damage, it can get there. Sometimes I really just want that damage. Yeah, it's most definitely better your armor classes, that's for sure. Or, you know, good on a wizard fighter. Or the wizard, the knight guy, so most definitely has some times where it does a lot of work. Blade Singer's interesting. Let's get this Thunderbolt.
That doesn't feel right.
You're one-handed anyways. You think...
What's that?
What do I think of Elf? Elf is the fine class. No problem with Elf at all.
For my captain!
I think it's kind of unnecessary. I mean, you can do it.
Boy.
I wouldn't say it's terrible. Wouldn't say it's great. I think it's going to do a lot of work early and do very little work later on in your career. And that's kind of why I'm kind of middle of the road of the whole thing. Like, I just might pick up the longbow. So, or just do flame bolt. Like, like a lot of people want it to be more melee than necessary, or just get in there with that stab damage with that rapier. I mean, if you're gonna be up there, be up there. I know 1d12 looks real sexy, but if you're getting like getting that +3 plus a d8, like you can do both, but you can only do one in a round. You're only gonna do one per round, so you're not gonna do both in the same round. So what you know? You'd be surprised how more things in this game are. Like, you'll have more things in this game that are susceptible to. How can I say? There's more things in this game that will actually just straight up die to piercing damage than poison damage. It's actually,
Happy to oblige.
because you know I have that Abjurer, Hobgoblin Abjurer guy, and he runs around with that, and I've been screwed over quite a few times by that spell. So, like, here's two things you have to take into account. One, there's a lot of undead are just immune, or just a lot of enemies are immune or resist that kind of damage. Also, even though it's a spray and it kind of feels like an area of effect spell, you still have to actually see the target, which means I was fighting this invisible guy, and it was not an option in melee for me. Also, if I was, was blind or in darkness, another thing you can't do to it. Whereas if you like have a, just a sword or just something like that, now, I mean, it's cool. Friends is an interesting cantrip.
Just like that.
She don't feel too particularly strong about that cantrip either way.
You need something.
Show me where to bite. Behold me, mother.
Oh, the problem with that, it has nothing to do with whether or not it works. Most of the time, the problem with Jedi Mind Trick is usually it comes back to bite you in the butt. But that also depends on your GM and how familiar he is with that spell. So that's a big deal. And two,
Happy to
how big he
oblige.
wants to make
Time to
the fact
separate the chaff.
that you have that, in your back pocket, and make that downside of
You were saying?
if they become hostile afterwards. How much is that a big deal to them? So I would say it's kind of dependent. That's very much a spell that can be kind of campaign dependent too, because unless you're dealing with stuff like that, it can sometimes not do anything. Just gonna trick it and run away. Ooh.
Swallow it whole.
I've never been in a situation in 5e which running away was a good option. I'm not saying this never is a good option. I just never had that experience, so I would not be able to tell you how good or bad running away as an option is. And you have some distance. Yeah? Yeah, you would? Okay, we came from there. His big ass foot. I just realized. See how with this big ass foot. Is it you not happy? You still need to find me, bro. Hey, Otis. I know you bad. You still need to track me down. I'm wilding out here in these streets. My feet's too big for out here. Size 82s out here. Ah, this was just a shortcut to get up here. Okay. Oh, you talking about the France cantrip. Bro, from what I read, they don't you would get a head start. You don't necessarily get like a long time before they turn instantly hostile. I think the problem I always have with that spell is they don't go. The emotion goes specifically says go to hostile, like goes from hey, I'm gonna murder you. I'm like, oh crap. So. I think I just prefer Charm. Let me use that high level spell. Alright. Well, we got into the Hydra. Lighthouse. The lighthouse is quiet but for soft sibilant whispers. There's a repetitive incantory quality to them. Yet as you cross the threshold, an old Naga with skin like cracked leather breaks off. He swivels to face you, barking, bearing one broken fang.
The sea-striped fiends send you to uproot the tree of the gods, yes? Their blasphemy knows no bounds.
Give the order, Captain. Or just nod. I'm not picky.
Yeah, twitches in her direction. His tongue flickering.
The fiends corrupt even the sand-striped ones. Now I taste their stench on her. If you join them in befouling the Adra, then you will join them in death, too.
You're telling me this slaughter is all about Adra?
The tree of the gods, yes. Which these fiends plunder and profane. Go! Carry a warning of what you have seen to the other shufflers.
What warning do you expect me to deliver?
The shufflers must not disturb these roots, or the gods will destroy the islands again.
You're saying the gods have brought ruin on Deadfire before? Appears his broken fang is surprised.
These stories say nothing of the many disasters, of the shuffler nests washed away like foam.
Letting out his deep sigh to him and raises his hand to touch his brow.
Wherever we sail, the beaches and spires of Lost Ukaizo travel with us.
Grabs his hands in reverence.
Many generations ago, the sand-striped ones built great hives across the islands, and bastions around the Adra roots.
On the village span the archipelago, but the Guthian built the temples around the Hadras.
They did not build alone. The sand-striped ones helped, as they help other fiends now.
I like the idea of you doing a job for me by helping me kill your friends. I love that too. I'm a big fan of that.
Their meddling displeased the gods. So the gods smashed their works with heaving volcanoes and crashing waves.
His beads and bangles rattle as he brings his hand together in a loud clap. So you think your history is repeating itself?
You shufflers are beasts of habit. You do not learn. You do not change. You cast off your sheddings by night, only to put them back on at daybreak. You wrap yourself in filthy, worn-out things.
A tremor of disgust ripples through its body.
Our ancestors hid deep, where the waters quenched the fires and muffled the storms. They remembered while shufflers scattered. Now, the shufflers build again.
Thumbs still on the
The
floorboards.
gods see. They will tear them all down.
Whoever sent me, I'm here doing the will of the gods.
The shuffler's tongue is thick with blasphemy. Kill him now, Suka.
Another Naga draws a tight claw preparing to strike. His tail whips on the ground as
If
he
your
considers you.
fat tongue speaks true, then give us proof.
God summons storms called all moons. If they wanted a sun go destroyed, they would have not left a single soul standing. Sagans you with a wary
If
eye.
this is not some fat-tongued lie, then show us. Approach. Restore the blessing of the gods to the Adra.
That's what I wanted in the first place.
As your hand touches the dim Adra, you feel the same cool, pricking sensation that you did when you touched the pillar near Port Mage. You concentrate on the pillar. The world around you swiftly falls away, leaving only the vast emptiness of the in-between. The Adra and a multitude of golden threads undulating off into the distance. For a second time, you gather the threads in your mind and bind them together, forming a solid tether that ripples out toward its distant anchor. Again, a crack sounds from the terminus. Your consciousness is violently pulled along the cord. You are prepared for the sensation this time, but are still disoriented when you come to a sudden stop. You find yourself standing behind a familiar Titanic statue as it trudges through invisible waters. Standing at Aethys's shoulder, your soul is dwarfed by the massive god's form. Energy pulses along the tether, each wave feeding the Adra's movements. He stops. His head cranes behind him, again accompanied by the sound of stone shearing and buckling. His eyes rest upon you. He does not reach for the cord, but considers you for a long span of silence before speaking.
Your first attempt to contact me was brave. This second attempt, is it born out of desperation or something else? Why do you continue to follow me, Watcher of Cadnua?
Show my callous will ate my soul, jackass.
There was no malice in that act. It was a coincidence of time, place, and necessity.
Aethys's voice grows fainter as he speaks.
I am sorry for what I did, but it was done for the hope of a better future.
That's barely an explanation, much less an excuse.
It is not. When the gods set foot to Aora, the mountains tremble and the seas roil. The moon falls from the heavens, and the sky blackens with ash. It is not fair. It is not just. Like the storm.
You're saying that the actions of the gods are beyond reason, or that you simply don't care about their consequences?
I care for those I have harmed, but it is not enough to care. What I have done, what I do, is done out of love. And love requires sacrifices, sometimes awful ones.
Aethys becomes silent. You can sense his presence advancing back along the cord between you. His energy flows over your hand, tendrils of light probing into the air around you. They poke and prod at the silent lost souls hovering in your vicinity.
You are in a unique position. In spite of the work of the Leaden Key and Hand Occult, you have seen through our facade. You know the god's true nature. Without the benefit of your knowledge, few mortals would be willing to accept the true history of their gods. After all, we weren't. The last time I walked Aora, I made a mistake in not revealing my true purpose. I believe you would understand it better than most.
I'm honored.
Yes, I will tell you. But this is not the time. As I take this body farther from the lighthouse, the tether grows weaker, and I have already tarried too long. Soon this link will unravel completely. If I have not reached my destination when that happens, I will need to pull more souls from your world.
Wait, is that what happened to Atasango?
It is. When you contacted me from Port Mage, I had to sever my tether to the luminous Adra. Without it, I lacked the strength to reach Hasongo. I pulled souls from the creatures of the ocean, and from the people at Hasongo, until I could reach the lighthouse. The soldiers and Naga there were no threat to me. I did not kill them out of malice, but simply to keep this body moving.
God caused you to kill all these people?
That question, Watcher, requires a more philosophical examination than we have time for.
The edges of Aethys' massive form blur and dissolve. The huge figure retreats from you. As it moves, the tether begins to rapidly unravel. As Aethys speaks, his voice sounds garbled, fragmented, and distant.
If you would know more, find me at the Ashen Maw in Margaren's Teeth. I must rest there before I begin my final work. When I leave that place, you will not be able to follow. Before I go, I should return some of this to you. I still have need of the great power of your soul, but I can spare you this portion.
A pulse of energy moves back along the golden cord toward you. It feels familiar, comforting, even before it contacts you. The energy washes over you, flooding you with feelings and memories you had thought long forgotten, until they settle back into the cracks of your soul. And then the tether and cord snap. Aethys' figure evaporating into dust that mingles with the endless gray expanse. Heat rushes over you, and the uncomfortable sensation of the Adra Pillar's presence cuts off. The gloom of the in-between is pierced by the light of the living world. You are back in the lighthouse. No longer dim. The luminous Adra beside you is filled with warmth and light.
Naga stare at the glowing Adra, the diamond pupils wide. Second turns his gaze to you, his body cautious half
Long
coil.
have we kept peace with the sand-striped people.
Good neighbors, I say. As long as we do not cross paths in mating season.
But then, the foreign ones came and spread. Killed our people. Built their hives everywhere.
Your type weren't exactly accommodating.
We were sure the Godwalker came to cast them out. That driving them away was a holy mission.
That's our biggest concerns in our fuse. We must learn to live together.
But on whose terms? We must go. I know not what this means, but our brethren should hear of it.
Not an option, Snake. Bet you were keeping count of how many good soldiers you fanged.
As his eye draws weapons. Now he owes us. A debt is more useful than blood.
Captain?
Vengeance won't save the ones you lost, soldier. Cutting her teeth means the curse of weapon. Fistball is at her
You show
side.
us something new today, Shuffler. Thank you for this. And for your mercy.
He presses something into your palm before departing. I see the new trinket. Let's see what this is. I like this better for her. Since she has a bunch of different buffs.
Think it saves me?
Yours to command, Captain.
Let's see what he wants to say.
I thought Aethys was too busy king over islands to blunt his teeth with mortals.
Thank you with unreadable expression.
What say? You must take something from all this idle chatter with the gods.
Aethys was more curious about me than I was about him.
And you knew things he did not. Ah,
Just
for what does he listen to you then? The gods I know are tight of lip and hard of hearing.
Mine won't shut up. His hands as if his stifled laugh, shaking
I
his
could
head.
not imagine the inner workings of a god. But then, I am not meant to. It is for mortals to flail in the darkness, I say, while gods point us toward light.
Felt that weight of authority before. I have no desire to feel it again. Needs the power to shape our future.
To be worshipped, to have others interpret your design. Such a burden, and mortals demand it so. For what should a god worry about such cares, when theirs is the hand on the tiller?
We still talking about Aethys? He pauses, blinking at you with a handful of hair pressed between his
Akira,
fingers.
I did not wish to burden you. These days I am having to think harder than my pampered years. You will forgive the handsome fish if he is as curious as the green god. At least Aethys has you to keep him in check. What happens when we catch up to him is something for future Takehu to worry about.
Explodes when world around you darkness. Once again you feel an instant tug of your attention. The pull centers from Chicana's souls. Surrender.
Scratch under the wet clay of any artist and you hatch a lifetime of fear and doubt.
Ultra pops her chin and her face and studies Tanner with his
My boy doesn't fear the gods. He only fears what he'll compromise by living up to his potential. But isn't it easier to let sculptures represent you? Poor thing. Nothing he does could disappoint me. But that is a mother's prerogative.
She pulls away with a wet, slapping sigh. You receive mental impressions of a wink. Services so far. Raising a certain smile, tipping his head and cuisine. Some questions.
You have questions? Hey, Kara, I have answers.
Let's be off.
You have my attention.
What does she want? She's gonna be upset that we didn't kill these
Captain,
people.
A word?
But you have your mind. Yes, ma'am.
What, did Ishi defecate in your favorite helmet or something? You've spoken to Aethys, which means you know what we're up against. If the fleet sailed up to him and fired every cannon at once, I imagine we'd have a fighting chance at taking a chip off his kneecap. There's no stopping him, is there?
I'm ruling out the chance of an unlikely solution.
So, that's a no?
His eyes with some tension, rolling her shoulders and cracking
I
her neck.
suppose there's a certain appeal to recognizing the inevitable. You don't have to waste our breath trying to stop it.
Be nice if the gods summoned the surge to intercede.
Said every sailor whose ship started taking on water. It reminds me of the first time I shot to kill.
Oh, I have to hear this.
There he stood, a pirate captain barking orders from the forecastle. Out of everyone's range but mine.
He has a friend.
The wind toyed with us. I took aim, never thinking I'd make the shot, but then I felt this awareness, like someone out there was aiming me. A cannon blast took me by surprise. I squeezed off a shot, expecting it to fly wide, but the bullet took my target between his eyes.
Trace the circle over a
I don't know if Bareth kicked open a door or the Sky Mother held my hand, but that man was meant to die. I've got that same feeling now. Better or worse, I know that Aethys is meant to succeed.
What tell if everyone's getting what he wants is good for the rest of us?
Hope I didn't take the wind out of your sail. Whether or not we can change anything, at least we can say we were there. That's more than most people get.
I've got some answers.
Oh, alright.
What's the command, Captain?
Alright, alright.
Right.
So let's see what else we can find in here. So you like your your spell mages with a bow? Interesting. So let's see what's up here. See if there's any survivors from our expedition. I think that's the guy who likes to play cleric in you as well. Cleric has a lot of set up a buff and forget it. Cast my buff on my party, and then we go in there and smash heads. I can appreciate that.
Sure. Will do.
Fast and do work? Yeah. Oh! I'm sitting there dropping my controller like a crazy person. But yeah. So you like your casters do some work with the fireball, I know. like some of that casting to just, you know, do some work a little bit more directly. But yeah. I like me a solid buff. Make things all nice and easy. People know what's gonna happen. If that was that direction, is what's going to happen if I go this direction. Okay. You don't want to be concentrating forever. It's okay to concentrate a little bit, but even that has its limits. I understand. I actually think, going back to the classes thing, I actually think most of the stuff that, like the type of thing, you know, the other thing you can give Monk is like space control, you know, tactical type thing, or, you know, you trade damage for like status effects and stuff, and they kind of gave that to the Battle Master Fighter. I really think that really should have used that mechanic for Monk. Oh wait, so both of the ladders lead up, both of the stairs lead to the same place. Okay, so maybe you have two different things, but they go into the same place. So did you get the chance to spawn, or did you get a chance to stream Spawn today? Ah. Okay, okay. Saturday's your next stream. Okay, that's cool. Say, it's kind of... I've been trying to make sure no matter what happens, I keep a decent schedule. In case people want to come in and watch. They know where to find us. Also, you coming in most definitely helps. You know, I can talk into the stream all to myself. Want to practice him? Practice who? Oh, you want to practice Spawn. Okay, that makes sense. You want to get some... Yeah, you want to get some decent combos, kind of get the feel out for the guy before you take him live, you know, for the public. I understand. I understand. You know, some people will sit there and stream hours and hours of them, you know, practicing combos. And I understand you don't want to watch that. Also get some gears look right. That's pretty cool. I'm personally not super big
the
on...
snakes are fooling themselves if they think this is over.
Bro, leave those snakes
the
alone.
last time I talked to a god. Oh, wait, this doesn't just happen to everyone else? Well...
I have known priests to go mad from too much incense, but speaking with a god has not left such a deep scar in you.
Yeah, right, fair point, that. Captain?
You don't look like you're gonna be sick this time, so I take it that's a good sign?
Doing fine, really. I don't understand, no matter who it is, to want to sit there and watch a guy practice combos. I don't care if, you know, unless you desk, maybe? But like, nah, I don't understand that. Gameplay I can understand, but watch a guy grind his combos for an hour. Like, Max is a fine guy, because he gets people to do that, and I would never understand. Yeah, looks
If we had
confused.
some idea of where Aethys is headed next, maybe we could prevent a repeat of this.
You have to follow me to find out.
You know I'd follow you into the depths of hell. No need to ask twice, Watcher.
See, that's the part of me. That's the entertainer part of me. Fun to learn with each other, I guess. Not quite sure what that means. Oh, I'm supposed to go in here and go up these stairs. Okay. Yeah. I guess it's okay, you know, to have someone to talk to, you know, someone to interact with. We're doing, you know, grinding out those combos. So maybe that is fun. Maybe it is fun, you know, while he does something to do it. I would think it would be fun for me. I'm not sure how much fun that would be for a stream. That's kind of what I was getting at. But, you know, like, I can understand. Is that another pet? Ooh,
I remember this little soldier. Glad to see you made a friend.
I'm gonna scratch the dog's ear. This is the couch closer to Casa's head. Begging the dog to come with you. Takes for you 10 of the steps to sniff your hand. Lowers his head. With your fingers, looks at you. Scratch behind the ears. He closes his eyes, raises his head, hoping to find just the right spot. For a second, he stands and shakes himself, ready to follow. Ah, okay. That is pretty good. You know, people in the chat, you know, kind of getting, you know, a think tank together. Oh, I heard this guy, or I saw this on this stream. Okay, I can kind of understand that. You know, I guess I'm kind of more used to, you know, delving into a character being kind of a solitary thing. But I have went on people's streams before when I was, you know, looking into their characters, looking into some stuff, and asking, you know, questions. And like, oh, this is a big deal, what's going on? And it helps if you like the stream. I mean, of course, everything helps. You know, if you like the stream, it makes it much, much easier to, you know, sit there and watch them if they find them enjoyable. Someday, some people will find me enjoyable as a streamer. Nah, I'm not, you know, butthurt, nothing like that. But, you know, I'm working on some things to improve this setup, but that's not, we're gonna hopefully be able to change the setup, get some, you know, face cam, all that good stuff, get an overlay, all that stuff, but, with the current equipment, this is what we got, so, we'll see. The future is here. And like Dave Chappelle says, children are not the future. Fuck it. I'm the future. I mean, I don't even blame people for doing that. I really don't.
You were saying?
Yo, we got like 2 looters here. Oh, maybe there'll be 3. Like, you guys. Looter A. Oh.
Happy to oblige.
Put this buff on my guys.
At your service.
I don't really have a big deal with people no copy and pasting. If that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. But it's just not usually how I did things. But I started this process well beyond before streaming and shit was a thing. Though I did use other people's ideas. I didn't make everything myself. I didn't even try to give anyone to pretend I didn't. Yeah, it's just, you know, it's the way of the world now. Let's give him a damn turn again. Knocked down. These guys have more health than I expected.
Bye.
Bro.
Means you got the decency to die?
Maya, do your fucking job.
Wow. Yeah, maybe. I messed around with him earlier, a little bit earlier today, but
What's that?
you know, it's okay. Totally understand why people like him. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's the stuff.
50 people are 50-50 on him.
What can I do you for?
Yeah, I can see people being kind of, you know, kind of split on that guy.
Captain?
Who's got this? Not fine. Okay.
Too slow.
Knock him down. Knock him.
Captain.
Aw. got it. He had him stabbed. I'm gonna work into your rotation. That's sweet. Okay. That's a new word for tryhard. Alright. I mean, I always found the even the term tryhard kind of weird. Because it's like, well, am I supposed to not attempt to do well? That's an odd thing to do.
What's that?
To glorify.
For my captain!
Captain?
But people have to find a way to make you, as a way of trying to, you know, bring you down for trying to do well.
Still got it.
Sweat. Okay.
Just like that.
Cut that out.
Ahoy. I've been cleaving it to the brisket. Mother.
Just a young gamer lingo. So it's hot in these streets. We sweats now. I guess. I didn't say it wasn't. It's just that Sweats is I guess looking down on people trying to do well. That's one way of doing things. I was always kind of against that.
Scale-bellied cowards! I knew they'd run!
Look at our beacon. Even the Colossus couldn't destroy it. And those snakes aren't so tough now, are they?
I think you mean, good job.
Of course. The Hansanui will want to thank you personally for your help here. And she should also know what we're up against.
How do I find that?
She's usually at the Brass Citadel in Nakataka. Though she gets called to the palace often, haggling with the Queen and the Valians.
You say, yuck, this room is sweaty. Okay. Alright. That's okay. I remember that a lot of these young kids is my little brother's age, and I think about how much I care about their opinion. I care a whole lot. A whole lot. So.
Looking for a real challenge after what you did to those scale bellies?
Should ask.
The only thing I know about the place is it's supposedly made of fire. And no one's ever come back from it.
Oh.
But Anything can be overcome.
Cool.
Clear skies.
I didn't meet any of you people. Were you all in here? I just didn't go in there? Yeah, I bet they were.
The light of Aethys be upon you, neighbor. Are you looking for survivors?
Oh, okay, so you heard the new J Electronica. What you think? Around there.
I should be glad to speak to him. Perhaps I can help.
Okay.
I see. Very well.
No more J and less Z, if that makes sense. You wanted more J Electronica and less Jay Z? I guess I could totally see that, but you know, I'm partial to J. I like J too. I was just glad that's a you know, the beats, which is the real reason I came, was so on point. But the soundtrack was real good, so. Soldiers, soldiers.
On it.
Yeah. So, give me out of a 10. A lot of people are saying that. Actually, Mr. Electronica and Joe Budden got into a big beef recently on the interwebs. You know, talking about who is a legend, who's got classic albums, and who, you know, was, you know, showing up on their own album. So, you know, they're up there, you know, having these barbs and stuff like that. I understand Joe is a media man now, so he's gotta delve in those type of things. But truth be told, I think he'd just be going out there. Feel like Joe. So gotta come back with my crew. Yeah, Jay. I mean, I think Joe's best work was on some, you know, mixtapes, stuff like that. You know, him beefing with people though. Like he using that to stir up the pot, because the next day he's gonna have that bad on his podcast. So, you know, I recognize, you know, stirring that pot, making, you know, these things bigger than they are. So you get a lot of people show up and watch the podcast, listen to his stuff. You know, he's sitting there as the state of the, what do you call his little talk show? State of the culture. That's interesting. It's a very highfalutin name. When I watched it, it wasn't very highbrow thought. Oh. I have an entire armada looking at you. Sun goes a mile of wreckage on the horizon. You see a dozen junks sailing towards you. Even at the distance, you're making good speed. One of the ships put alongside yours, a well-dressed Rwanda man approaches along the edge of the desk. American Austria, a Grand Secretary of the Royal Deadfire Country. Telling me for you to show up, boss. I was just scribbling down my daily report. Mia folds his arms and nods across the gap. I'm afraid we'll have to wait until I return to the Brass Citadel. He nods to Mia. It's good to see you again. I see you continue to leave your mark. He's gazing towards Hasango with a particular smile. The Adra beacon, visible even from here, shines brightly. Nakataka is abuzz with praise for your deeds as well. Pleasure to see you again. Your manners do you much credit. I want to extend his thanks to Royal Deadfire Academy for what you've done here. He raises one hand towards the outer beacon. You restored a valuable asset. Whether or not that was your intention, he gives you a quick slight smile. The others at the palace will want to hear this, no doubt, and you may as well take credit for the deed fresh. He's Ashramon the Margaret's teeth. Though a cold wind has blown over the deck, the mention of Margaret's teeth, the Arthurians stir at you in shock and horror. Those who are not frozen with their mouths agape whisper fearfully amongst themselves. Ostuna silences them with an unreadable glare. He stares at you with a brittle smile that does not reach his eyes. These are my compatriots. Margaret's teeth is a volcanic chain along the north edge of Deathfire. It is among the most treacherous places in the archipelago. He glances back at ancient settlement. The waters around here are patrolled by giants said to be born in Margaret's own volcanoes. Even our well-armed ship do not venture there, just as an apology. But I Queen Zazako could direct you to Drajimon, and we settle in there. All the more reason to visit her palace, he smiles cryptically. Anyway, you have much to attend to. Seems there's you as well. Clear skies, Captain Teff. As doing nods as the crew may sail ready. Wow, those guys jumped on that. Switch him out real quick. My boy in. There's that one thing. Joe is the puff cab, so what else? Is in the puff cabs. Oh, the show with Reverend and all that. Yeah, no, that show. That whatever show to me. Yeah. No, he's very much that I don't know how to feel about that show. Like, it's supposed to be this big thing. This big, hoopla, but they don't really be talking about much. They be talking about stuff, like Deadhead Hip Hop has more deep discussions about the skate of the culture and, music and shit than these two artists, and, with all this industry shit. So, yeah, no, I get better from Deadhead Hip Hop. So.
Light of Aethys be upon you, neighbor.
A short lady, about my age, came from Deerwood with her son. Let's see, freckles, braids usually. Punches you in the arm if she likes you, face if not. Oh, and that's if you're lucky.
No, that doesn't sound like anyone. I don't think you'll have much luck around here. I know all my neighbors.
Maybe that's the son, bro.
You gotta be her son. Got her nose and her freckles. You don't have to lie to me, kid. I'm a friend of your mother's. She hiding from someone? Maybe an ex-lover who gave her the best night of her life?
You're protecting her, we understand.
No, I misspoke.
Forget it. Just tell me something. Your father, you know him?
I'm sorry, who are you?
Nice. It was a good man. I saved him.
Lions, bats, and Orleans, to name a few.
Yes, I knew my father when I was very young. He was a man of strong faith.
Have to be. You get a lava mad, you need a god on your side for protection.
He was lost to us during the purges, which was how we came to flee here.
So you met him. Well, that's great. You had a dad.
Only passes with others starting to burn with strange underlining grimace. Run back across his face, he clears his throat.
Where's your mother now? Got a lot of catching up to do.
My mother is with Aethys.
The trace of the smile seems to come with the last words. Prince. Alright, but Aethys is in a giant address on the seafloor.
Yes, he walks among us once again, enlisting faithful soldiers. I do believe she is with him. She passed the veil a few years ago. A flu. It's possible her soul has taken a new body by now. But if she was truly blessed, she marches instead beside the shining god.
On his hand, his smile brightens, eyes forward. And his face is gone, scarlet beneath the farmer's tan. His nostril pulsating with each heavy breath.
You lied to us. Said you didn't know her. Expect me to believe this now?
Sir stepped towards Burns, of his tooth. Easy. Easy, he lost his mother.
Funny, you wouldn't know what to look at him.
Stares the boy down and turns with a grunt.
I'm not lying. She's buried on the other side of that hill.
How could she be gone?
Don't be troubled by her passing. All souls that march with Aethys receive his warmth and light.
Confident in God is causing a lot of destruction.
You can't build on broken foundations. Real change needs destruction. I trust my God knows better than I do. He knows truths I'll never learn.
And got that right.
I was once lost. I struggled as you do now. But the partisans of the lighted path have restored my faith in Aethys. What greater honor than to march in his vanguard?
Who's the partisan lighted path?
We began as children of the Dawnstars, separated from each other as we questioned our purpose. But then Aethys granted a vision to Gadarian Bosch. Bosch saw an illuminated path lighten the way through a black abyss. And he saw Aethys marching on the path, and Aethys bade him to march alongside.
Not quite how I've been seeing it, but everyone's open to their own interpretations.
And the Shining God told Gadarian Bosch to gather an army of the god's truest followers, and to prepare to lead it into battle.
You'd think after getting blown up, he'd slow down on the battling.
Why'd you lie to us about knowing Alpha?
Gadarian Bosch warned us. Those outside the partisans may ridicule us and test our faith, especially our old families and others close to them. We've learned it's best to keep to ourselves and those with open minds, which relations and friends mostly aren't.
Who does Althius intend to battle?
We don't know. The end of the path hasn't been revealed to Gadarian Bosch yet, but to the faithful, shouldn't matter.
How are you joining us as marches? He marches beneath the sea.
There'll be a great journey, but we're prepared. Gadarian Bosch knows the way.
As Bosch on the proof his
Aethys himself has appeared in Deadfire in the form Gadarian Bosch foretold. That's more proof than any of his faithful could ever ask. What fortune to be given this opportunity. To know our God in the living world.
What you needed here. Deep breath, it looks around, then not burning. Now it's tight.
We can go.
We'll be going.
Hey, kid. What was your name again?
Bairn.
Right. This lighted path fellow, Bosch. Sounds interesting. There's some way I can meet him?
He's usually on the move, rallying followers. But the partisans of the lighted path often gather in the Temple of Aethys in Nekataka. I seem to go there myself, in fact. There's an adherent there, Ogna, who initiates new partisans. No doubt she'd be pleased to help you. Aethys needs able soldiers, even in their elder years. You should consider what Ogna has to say. It might speak to you. Farewell.
Alright, guys. Well, that's the end of today's stream. Next time, we'll go back to town, get our heroes welcome, figure out whether or not this guy is somebody's daddy, and continue on our swashbuckling adventures and Deadfire. Well, Pillars of Eternity, Deadfire. It feels early, yikes. Yeah, we get to actually, you know, start to stream early, end earlier. So, night, guys.